Witness history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.
Okay, so here we go again, and I haven't looked at the tracker yet for this afternoon, but I looked earlier on in the day, and we've got now 2 boats in, and Peeler is just getting very close right now, so that's pretty cool. It's amazing. That'll make us 4 boats before the end of the month, and Dan might even get in tomorrow. Sometimes that's the 30th, so that's 5 boats in by the end of the month, which is crazy. Good average speed. So with this short lead in, there's a few people that aren't there yet, but anyway, we're going to go straight into it, and we'll go through the numbers, see what's happening, tell you some stories, and then we'll see what questions there are at the back. And if someone's seeing this, if you can tell me whether you can hear and see me, then I know I can move off, because once I go onto the tracker, I don't know if everything's working or not. So I'm waiting for a comment, someone to say boom, while people come online. Boy, yes. Okay. Well, I'll go to the tracker anyway, and I'll push back halfway through. So hopefully you're all seeing this. The tracker is, this is the page actually. Right down to see when Kerry was coming in, and I think he moved, I'm not sure. Previously he was just over here in amongst the boats, and now he looks if he's moved further up into the bay. It's potentially a little bit rolly there now, so they're all bouncing around. If you saw the little video clips there, with the guys paddling around in their inflatable kayaks and little tenders and stuff, little minis and little tenders. Anyway, that's it. So now I'm just going to scroll back. While we're there, so you can see where everyone is. This is for some of these that hadn't seen this blow up before. They come around this way, come into the bay. This is still an anchorage. When Dan turned up, he anchored in here, okay, because it was at night time, and that's an official anchorage within the concept of turning the clock off, because he could have just rowed ashore there and got ashore and done customs there. And then the next, when the daylight and stuff, he moved around here and tied up by the wall alongside Renaud. And Kerry came in, and it looks like he anchored first at this spot where the end of that line was. It was showing him doing 2.5 knots at that stage, but anyway, I'm not sure. So now he's anchored right in there, and that's a fair way from the wall, but he's got his paddleboard. He's got a stand-up paddleboard for a tender, so that's not too bad. He can easily get in there. And we can talk about the logistics later on once I get through the tracker. So I'm going to scroll all the way back now. That picture's just part of the background deal here. Oh, actually, I haven't. Let's just see. Oh, it's showing Peeler's already in there. Huh? What time's that? That's fine. So Peeler must be already there. Let me just check this while I'm in. There's Peeler right there on top. So Peeler's actually already arrived, which is pretty good. So I didn't notice that. Okay, so Peeler's in there. So that shows her doing 2.5 knots. So she might have just happened before, because you don't obviously come across the land when she's come in. There was the last position that she had, which will be further down around the island, and then if she gets in, so it's a 5 hours time slot. If she's anchored within 2 hours and she's been doing 5 knots up to here, by the time she gets into anchor over that 4 hours, it'll show 2.5 knots or something, because she's done 10 miles. And if you divide 10 by, it does 10 miles in 2 hours and drops the pick, but then the next satellite position doesn't come up until 2 hours later. It'll show she's averaged 2.5 knots to get there, and she's showing 2.7. So you can see what's happening. She's probably been there for a couple of hours. So and she'll be on daylight, so she would have arrived just as it was getting lighter, I think. But Kerry actually arrived in the dark, I'm pretty sure. So that's good news for Peeler. Pretty impressive for all of them. And so Peeler was probably, what did we say before? She was 19 miles, so maybe 2 or 3 hours behind Kerry. So that whole little group there is still all within squeaking distance. Still a long way around the world. Once they get to Fiji, there's still 17,000 miles to go. Anything can happen. So we'll see how it is. So anyway, so Peeler's already in, so that's great. Very happy about that. I've just been writing the press release, which will go out tomorrow, discussing all this. Keep coming back here. Here comes the fleet. Dan's there. I wonder if he'll get in today. I'll have to measure that off. Get up here, put the wind on, see what they got. And before I go anywhere, I'm going to come back and see if everyone loud and clear. Thanks, John. Perfect. So I'll now go back to the tracker. So that's okay. I like having the grids on, and I'll put the snail trails on, and we got Josh. I'll get rid of that, and then we can look at everyone here. So not quite. In fact, I'm going to go back to John now. John and Popeye. Here we go. So you can see the fleet's all closing in on the line. It's going to be a busy day in 2 days, cheapest, or a day. Dan will probably, anyway, we'll discuss that when we get there. But yeah, there's going to be a big bunch of them coming in. The anchorage is going to be very crowded for sure. Everyone will be talking about it. Everyone in the anchorage, they'll all have something to look at and smile and think, oh, we thought we were heroes because we got into the Marquises and the 50-footer and all that stuff. And then we turn up in the little boats, huge adventure, and it just adds another dimension. So it's all good fun. And what am I doing here? I've got to concentrate. Okay, so John and Mike side by side. The weather's the same, but very pleasant. And they're doing 4.3. That's just perfect. 100-mile day, near enough for Mike, for Popeye. And side by side, Blinky is also 98 miles. So they're just cruising along, and it would be super pleasant for that. And they're really close. I'll just pop this up and just see. It's always fun to know how close they are. Yeah, about a mile apart. Mile's nothing. This is about spitting distance. So they're probably swapping their watches, you know. One will go to sleep and say, right, I'll stand a watch and let you know, you carry on, because they've both got the same self-steering gear, same sails up. You know, they'd be saying, what are you putting up? Okay, oh, I think we could put a reef in. Okay. They'd be copying each other and sailing with the wind vane so they can hold their relative distance apart without worrying about a collision. I actually had a collision with a boat one. Remind me to tell you about that. Oh, anyway, I was sailing my little Dunk 29 and sailing with some friends in another Dunk 29 over in Vanuatu, and I was down below. Next minute, bang! And anyway, it's not time to tell you, but I'll follow on in a minute when we do the Q&A. Someone remind me to talk about the collision at sea at night, sailing solo. Okay, so I'm losing concentration here. I'll come back a little bit, get rid of that, and we'll look at the weather for the next couple of days. Here we go. Is that far enough back? No, one more. They've just about reached the green. So that's good for them. They've had a good run. And now they're effectively, we'll go right back and have a look. You can see it's not a strong trade wind, but it's still green and they're in the zone now. So that's fantastic. They'll be quite happy with that. It's starting to move away a bit from them. No, it's holding their own. So tomorrow will be a bit light as well, but then after that, come 1st of May, they're on their way. That's a poem. Cheapest. And let's just, so we can do it quite easily, 1st of May, 2nd of May, yep, they're in the groove. 3rd and 4th, it's light. It's not strong trade winds, but it's pleasant. 4th, 5th, 6th, yep, they're in it. So that's pretty cool. They're following everyone else's track and they'll make good time. So they'll do, probably 100 miles again tomorrow. And then after that, they should be hitting 110s and maybe even more. And the waves down that part of the world, 2 meters. When you get those colours there, it's just starting to kick in. It's 2 meters in by the 6, and back here it's even less. So it's 1.5, slowly building. But that goes with the territory. All very pleasant. I just saw a post from Ayrton, and jeepers, it looks good. He had a video clip for Dawn, and it looked beautiful. Everyone's enjoying this ride. Okay, so concentrate. We want the weather back to now. We want to build this up so we can all see what's happening. Now, Gary, Gary's story is, I think everyone knows that he was late shipping into Antigua. Then he was late doing his qualifier, so he left Antigua late. He didn't get time to put anti-fouling anywhere on the bottom of the boat in Antigua. By the time he got to Panama, because everyone else had gone, he was running behind time, and he only had a few days there. And anti-fouling there was 750 US for, I think it was only 2.5 litres or 3 litres or something, or 4 litres. It's super expensive. And he was caught for time, so he said, bugger it, I'm going without anti-fouling from Panama, which is what he's done, and now he's worried. He thinks he's got quite a few barnacles. He hasn't mentioned, he can't confirm that. He hasn't even put a camera over the side to have a look, but he just says he's slowing down. And coming on this leg, if he, no, he's got no anti-fouling. If he sails through a cloud of barnacle spores, he could be shocked at what he finds. But anyway, he's doing 3 knots at the moment. In the trades, he's doing 90 miles. Josh is doing 4.6 and 120. So he could be in for a real surprise. He wants to look at slipping the boat and anti-fouling when he gets into the island here. And I've heard various stories. Apparently you might be able to. They might have a trailer there which they can modify, that they can pull up a ramp. I don't know whether they sell anti-fouling. They probably do. So that's on the agenda, and he doesn't know what he's got on the bottom, but he thinks it's more than likely he's getting serious barnacle growth. So we'll see. 3 knots, 90 miles, not a lot. And Josh, 4.6, 118 mile day. That's pretty good. Jasmine, getting ready for a birthday soon. 4.7 knots and 122 mile day. That's cool. She's in the groove. So they're going to have a big party because there's going to be plenty of people there. Adam, 5 knots and 125 mile day. So pulling away from Jasmine at 122 mile day. Ayrton, 116. Go on, Ayrton, stop relaxing. But he's trying to work out the day situation, whether you may have seen the discussion we had online here before to see he doesn't want to, he might have to slow down, so he's not worried about putting kites up yet. Anyway, so that's okay, still moving. Jacob, 4.9 knots, 128. And if you read Graham's report, you'll see that his handbrake was just that he finally got in the groove of the boat and looked at the balance of the boat, and he just knows when it's feeling right. So he's feeling the boat more, and it's make a huge difference. He's actually doing really well. 128 miles compared to Adam, 125. It's always a couple of miles a day more than the others. Eric, 120. So you can see whatever he's doing, he's still ticking off the miles a little bit bigger than everyone else every day. What's Christian doing? 125 even there. So he's the fastest boat in that mid group. Very interesting discussion, that one. He's just concentrating on that side of it. He did something to his head the other day. He put a video, and he's bleeding on his forehead, not a big one, and it was all in Polish language, and I couldn't tell what he was saying, but I made out that it sounds great. Yep, I agree. Go ahead, but just be careful and why. And a few people thought that I knew what they were saying, but I had no idea what it was about. Anyway, he didn't look badly injured. It was just a scrape. So Christian doing okay. As I said, 5.1, 125 miles. I'll do the distances in a minute. And Dan, 4.2 knots and 120 mile day. So he's slowing down a bit. And I'll leave the distances and ETAs until the very end. So now, just in this group here, I'll leave it at this extension book. I've got to push the thing out. We'll just check the weather going forward for a couple of days. I'm just going to do a jump. It's pretty much the same. This is tomorrow. If anything, if I go back again, if anything, the wind is getting a little bit stronger tomorrow. So the mid-fleet, Dan will be in very quickly, but the mid-fleet's looking good. And on the first, it's getting a little bit lighter, but they'll still be doing their 110s, 120s and so on. Current-wise, they're too close to worry about it now, but it's just helping them a little bit. Nothing dramatic. Josh is getting a bit more than others. So Sea State, it'll just be pleasant. I saw the video from Ayrton. They're having a great time. So it's payback time for all of that torture boarding as they're building their boats. So, and Jasmine's going on about how manky the boat is now inside. mouldy and a bit funny because of the moisture she's had in the past and this, that, and the other. I think she'd be keen to get in just to air the boat out and dry things out and wash things maybe. So weather looks good for the next few days. They're going to stick with that. So now I'll just go with some distances and see what's going on. So it's now 6:57 here, so 6:04. So we're an hour after these positions were put on. Okay, so these were at 1400 1600 UTC, which is 4 o'clock. We're now, the real time now is just coming up to 1700 UTC. So if I measure this off, we'll go for the first guys in first. So Dan, if I put that one there, Dan is near enough to 76 miles, and he's doing 120 miles a day. So, or I think he'll probably, he should be able to do. We'll keep it simple anyway. 5 knots. So that would be 7. It's 15 hours. 15 hours, maybe a bit 16 hours to 16 to 17 hours from 4 o'clock. So 16 to 17 hours. I'm just going to write this down because I'll have to put it in the post anyway. Let's say 17 hours roughly from 1600. So 1600, 24, that's 8 hours there. And I said 17 hours. So it's 8, 9 hours, say 10 o'clock. So 1000 hours. I've just added another hour. About 1000 hours UTC tomorrow. So it'll be very early in the morning. So he's still got a way to go. But he will be in tomorrow on the 30th. Okay. And then Christian, this is probably the next one, just to go 200 miles. So it's going to be at least 2 days from now. So you could say near enough to 1600 on 1600 UTC, 2 days away. So that'll be the first. Okay. So, and the others, okay, I'll measure them off. I'll let you do your timelines, but just to let you know, Eric is 257 miles. So that's going to be at least 2 and a bit days, right? He'll come back to 5, so 2 and a bit days from now. So he'll be in a daylight on the 2nd, I'd say. So he'll be in daylight. Mark, we don't know. Oh, well, Mark's, we'll put him up there, 165 miles. So Eric's going to beat Mark. So that's fine. And Jacob, 290. So he's going to be 2.5 days. And by a half, I don't mean half a day, I mean 12 hours. So that's where it's going. Urton is currently 325 miles a day away, rather. And Adam, all these guys are going to be the third, probably the third. And Jasmine is 400 miles away. So she's going to be 3.5 days from now. And today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So sometime Saturday night, maybe, something like that. We'll see. Okay, that's probably enough. I don't want the rest of it's getting too complicated or too irrelevant, I should say. So I think that's all we can get out of there. We don't need to do a video thing. I'll come back here and say g'day. So, boom. So, sailing single-handed, just before I forget. So I'm sailing along on my boat. Down below in the quarter berth, asleep, solo, 29-foot boat. And I've got another boat with me, Duncan's at 29, with 3 people on board. We're sailing out of Vanuatu back to New Caledonia in the middle of the ocean. And the person on watch, which I think it was Adi, not Ada, it was Adi, it was her name. She's sailing, it's the tiller steered boat in the cockpit, and she's looking over there, and there's a boat with a nav light. And she thought that was me over there, and it's starting to come towards her on a collision course, right, just with a white masthead light. So she's now bearing away, coming down, and I'm sailing, I started off, a mile and a half from, but slowly but surely, while she's on the watch, she's getting closer, and we collided gunwale to gunwale, boom, and it was like, what the, and I jump out of bed, come up in the cockpit and say, hey, you okay, I was steering under Navic, no hand steering, she pulled away really quickly. We couldn't work out what's going on, and then they started yelling out, there's another boat. And I said, well, I couldn't work out. And sure enough, there's another boat with no one on watch, and it cut straight across our bow. She was moving away from it, not realising it was coming in a pretty good angle, not an oblique angle, and we actually collided. It was unbelievable. And then we were shouting out to this other boat, hey, 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 just to say g'day. No one. Just kept going. It was another yacht, probably solo, probably asleep. It was amazing. So it does happen. Anyway, that's cool. What else can I tell you? I got the news from Kerry, or from Sid, Kerry's manager, yesterday. If you were watching, I mentioned about what the bloody hell's going on with Kerry. You know, he's zigzagging all over the ocean. Turns out he's down one of his asymmetric kites. I'm not sure what happened there, but anyway, he's not able to set twins, right, and drop the main and just blast downwind like everyone is on a straight course. He can only use an asymmetric and the main. So he's having to sort of keep the jibe angles going to get maximum speed, and that's why he's doing that confusing course. So there's some good stories to come out of there later on. The problem I've got, I just wrote the press release, there's too many stories. I can't fit them all in. We'll have a 10-page press release. But I've gone a different direction on this one. I've done lots of little stories from all the entrants and stuff. So you might enjoy that. But anyway, you guys that are doing this know what's going on because you're following everything. But anyway, that was the story from Kerry, why he's got some challenges. And I thought I was aware of what everyone's got and what they haven't got. So I was surprised to hear that, because when you're short of sails, it's a big problem. And it's a problem that's not going to get any easier, although the wind will get stronger for sure. When they cut down towards through the Tuamotus to Papeete, the wind will come forward. Well, it'll start to swing around. It won't be like a broad reach anymore. It'll start to get a little bit more on the beam. So they may not be running twins as much as they were up until this point. And then when they leave Papeete to go towards Tonga, it's a bit of a mixed bag then. It's not as consistent as what you had from this one. The trades there coming across are usually classic wind direction. You know, as you've seen, they're just been, just going, beautiful sailing. But from Papeete to Tonga, you can get a bit of a mixed bag. It can have a few pressure systems coming across that will change the wind direction a bit. Still all favourable, still trade winds, but not quite as good as what they've been going now, and there can be a lot more pressure in it, a lot more wind. So maybe Kerry will be okay. Okay, I think that's the only stories I've got. And so let's have a look here. I'm hoping my 24 guy comes up. I chased down my first person online here. He's not here, to see what he's doing. The guy, I forget what it is now, something or other 24. He's got a boat, and it's a 24-footer that he bought for €1, and he's currently doing a big refit to send it. I think he's going around the world on it. It's a 24-footer with a keel. There's a fin keel, a lead keel. It's an old one. Bought it for €1, and he's rebuilding it. He's doing a good job. He's doing some interesting stuff. But anyway, I'll wait until he comes back, and then we can have a chat. And I'll slowly pick on some other ones, like Old Sailmaker. I figure he's an old sailmaker, but anyway. But some of those names are really funny, like even Wind on Water. What's that about? Anyway, okay. Mine's just really simple. Mine's just Don McIntyre. I feel boring. Anyway, okay, so hide from the stream. Okay, loud and clear. Thanks, John. Thanks, Mike. All good. There's only a few people here. Old Sailmaker, Water on Water. Sound look good. Thank you. Fabian, g'day, Fabian. John, g'day. Don't forget to like, share, and all those sorts of things. We're slowly picking up the numbers, although I got onto OGR today, and I forgot we even had 22,000 on OGR. We got 65 on GGR. So we got to, but that's GGR's been around for a while, so we'll still try, see how we go, pushing it up. Okay, John, can Kerry get a new sail without penalty? No, penalty time is on now. And in fact, it's interesting because I've been looking at the issues there on a couple of things that, you get a sail on board and there's a new penalty. There's a penalty. I forget what they are. I think it's 48 hours for a mainsail and 36 hours for something. I'd have to look at the notice of race. I forget because they're all different depending on which the event is. And the other issue is we've got some people with sealed sails on board. They're basically banned from opening those sealed sails in between any legs. So they have to, if they need those sails on board, they can only do it when we break the seal in port, obviously. So that's another issue, because I've heard that there may be a structured plan there, which is interesting on doing things. But anyway, that's cool. So yes, he could get a new sail, but he will face the penalty, face the time penalty. Roy, Captain Cook, in Durban, thanks for the update. Yeah, no problem. SV Sienna, Journey of Shark. Hey, I looked at you're here. I looked at your YouTube. I was looking for you on Facebook, and I could not find you. And I thought, bugger. And then I thought maybe it's YouTube, but it's a YouTube channel with about 8 or 9 videos. The keel was a disaster. Our guys would be laughing, poor bugger. I felt sorry for you, because all the 580s cast their own bulb keels. And if you've been, I know other people here will know all about how we build our keels. Well, SV Sienna, boy, did you do some great learning curve on trying to mould up a bit of lead on the boat. I was feeling for you. Anyway, good to see your project. Good luck with it, eh? It looks really quite an interesting time ahead. So, and I understand why you're here, because we're a little bit smaller than you. But yeah, there's a lot of good information here for sailing around. So that's all cool. Rightio. So thanks, Ed. Okay, I think that's it for us for now, and we'll be back tomorrow. I've got to wait now until we get some info from Kerry, and also from Peela. Peela's been far and few between Facebook posts. She's working Instagram, and she's got some stuff going up there. But I'm looking forward to chatting to her, because we really know bugger all about things. Although I'm just going to check, because I saw a manager just sent me a message thing. Here we go. What have we got? Oh, it's just there's a picture here. I don't know whether you won't be able to see that. Maybe you can. There you go. This is from Peela. This is from Peela's manager. So Peela sent that. This is what they've got to do. They've got to have their GPS to say, and a photograph with the Citran teddy bear. Citran being our designated charity, which is motor neurone disease, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and so on, at the Sheffield Institute in the UK. They're world leading. Oh, what happened there? Oh, world leading research organisation. Anyway, so there's the Citran bear, the GPS confirming the position and the speed situation. They've dropped the pick, and so the 8 days starts from the time that they've dropped their anchor, the last anchorage, before they're ready to go ashore. Or, where they've got to be inside the anchorage. They can't drop it in 100 metres of water and say, we've stopped. They've got to get into an acceptable anchorage where they're able to do things. And anything else there? No report. So I did get a report here. I get them every day. They're like clockwork, which is fantastic, from Eric. Hang on a sec. So there's another report then. This is another report. I'll read it to you. I haven't even read it yet, so I hope it's a clean one. But it's a written report from today from Argo's manager, from Christian's manager. Quick update from Christian. All is well on board. Excellent for the situation with energy. Christian is having trouble fully charging his batteries. It takes 3 days to fully charge one battery. He's fried the batteries. The problem is that on his course close to the equator, from midday onwards, the shadow from his sails on the solar panels. Christian saves a lot of power. He used a lot of power too. He's got screens everywhere. So he's got the plotter, the AIS, the VHF, and Starlink mostly off. So he's turning everything off. At night, he only uses his navigation lights when he's sleeping. During the day, he occasionally changes course to get more sunlight on the panels. He tries everything, but it remains very challenging. The documents from TD Crew are all ready and sent. Okay, so it brings up an interesting discussion there, because I was the first time I've ever used a flexible mount with solar panels on the back of Tracker was on the back of Tracker sailing across the Atlantic in 21, in the Transat in 21. And also Tracker's set up with one 100-watt panel going across the front of just in front of the bubble, okay? And there are no lines, no ropes going over the solar panel, okay, at all. So it's clean, and you got to hope then that the mainsail's not creating a shadow, right? The first thing a lot of people don't realise about solar panels is that they're wired in a daisy chain. So effectively, say this is the solar panel, and you see often all the little squares everywhere, and someone puts a shadow over it like that um, from a rope, or runs a rope across it, which is even worse because it's never a shadow, it's actually there. Guess what happens? You have your two wires coming off the thing for DC, and the power is going around like a snake. It's going up and down, so it'll go up, across, down, across, up, across, down, across, up, across, and that's it. And it's all very efficient. It's great. You get your power coming off it. When there's a shadow there, it's like putting a piece of blocking. It's like blocking a pipe, because the electricity is like water. It's running through the pipes, and then all of a sudden a shadow, or even worse, a rope over the top. It's like putting a bit of wood in the way, and it really has to struggle to get through that shadow. And the same. So every time it's coming down, it's got to struggle through it, and then it's free, and it comes in and it's struggle and go down this, that, and the other. And so that little shadow might only be 5% of the solar panel, but it can kill 40% of your solar panel. Just one little rope shadow, because it's got to fight its way through that shadow, let alone the whole blank off. When you blank it off with a shadow, it's obvious, it's not getting the power. But people forget that it's not even the surface area. It's just one rope shadow going across, or one rope. Because I was looking the other day at Captain Coconut. I haven't noticed it before. But if you see one of his videos, he's got electrical problems on board, and he has everything coming back in the cockpit, and he's got like probably 20 lines, and they're all running over the top of his solar panels. So the solar panels just wouldn't work. Or they're going to be cut right down for sure. But what I was leading to then, the one panel I had on the back of the boat, 50 watt panel that you could angle into the sun all the time, holy dooly, it was pumping out like crazy. And so that's why one of the other reasons we banned the Targas now. So you're not allowed to have a Targa anymore. No 580s in future can have the Targa with the solar panels on the top. Complete waste of time, because those panels can't move. They're just flat. So as the sun's coming over, in the morning, if this is the panel, the angle of the sun is like that. And then as it gets up into midday, well, then it's working and it comes across. And I used to do my calculations. You could, at best, if your panel's rated at 100 watts, for normal boats, in normal situations like that, you halve the output. So it goes from 100 to 50 watts, right? And then you come to the day and you take half the day. So if you've got 10 hours of sunlight, you're going to get 5 hours of useful sunlight, provided it's blue sky. So you've halved it and halved it again. So that 100 watt panel doesn't do much. If you can angle your panel into the sun, so it's always getting 90 degrees like that, sheepers, it's on fire. You get so much more. So anyway, but it sounds as if Christian's got a problem with his battery as well. His batteries as well. They've had some big shocks, big drains and stuff. I'm not sure whether he's got lithium or things. So it could be any number of things. But that's one of the reasons why one of the reasons why. Oh, cheapest, where are they gone? They're gone. Let's put them outside. We have one of the reasons why we have the red and yellow flashing lights, because if everything fails, you're down to that. Anyway, I think that's all. I believe Christian's outboard cannot hydrogenerate. No, it can't. He's got big batteries though, and he towed Canadan away from the danger at the beginning, but he can recharge from his own house batteries. But it sounds like he's got a problem with the batteries, so it's all very tricky, eh? Okay, I think that's all. I can't think. Oh, I didn't give you the. I told you that was from Argo and Peeler, but I get one every day from. I'll just read the message I got from Sid about Kerry, which I was talking about. Kerry works the wind shifts, and he does not have a double Genoa to pole out, so they're going dead downwind. He is broad reaching. It means he hasn't got double spinnakers or whatever it is. He's still dinghy racing, which I can understand. That's the way they've got to go. And the message I got from Gary, I think I'm having barnacle issues. You want to put a camera over the side and have a look. I'm going to get the boat lifted and anti-fouled in Hivaroa. So that's his plan. But I still haven't got, why haven't I got bloody, here we go, stand by. I'm about to get it managed. Here we go, Brenda. I've got a video here from Eric Sunbear. Eric, Sunbear, day 34 and leg 2. Hello, all well on Sunbear. 120 miles last 24. 120 miles last 24 hours. 480 to Heveroa. I'm going well. We should have good breeze all the way. All the best, Eric. And his wife just also added that he's very tired because he shot this great video. I'll just show you. I haven't put it up yet. It's fantastic. It's a dawn thing, and he goes around, and he pans around, and shows you the sun and all that sort of stuff. And he's talking, giving a nice commentary, and you're waiting, think, oh, you're about to see him, and then he stops it. So I don't even see his face on there. so it was another good one. At least it's horizontal; it's not vertical. Everyone's shooting vertical stuff. Anyway, waffling on. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll no more. Well, hang on a sec. There might be a question here. Okay, reported journey. So, hey, yes, trying to make my own adventure. Yeah, absolutely. I believe Christian's outboard cannot be hydrogenate. That's right. Okay, we're done. So I'll hit this here and see if everything works again now. Oh, now I've gone. Oh, hang on. Why's that gone like that? Oh, jeepers. I give up. That wasn't meant to do that. That was meant to be there. So if I go off a hit, I'm back here. And when I hit that, it's just not working. Oh, well, I'm just going to shut it down so you don't get a beautiful little video. Well, maybe it's because I can hear it.
There's history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025. Small boat, huge adventure.